I am interested in learning more on how to play the Italian game, and this is one of the openings taught in this my first chess opening repertoire for white. So let me show you this game, which is game number 18 of the book, and it's in chapter 3, when black avoids the gioco piano after one e4, e5. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, and h6. This is why I like this book, because as you can see, he finds moves that generally are played by club players, but obviously are not played by grandmasters. How did he continue? Here it says the same thing I just wrote. A move often played by amateur players who fear after knight f6 being bothered by the white knight on g5, or the bishop coming to g5 to pin it, right? However, black cannot afford such a waste of time as early as the fourth move. In addition, the move 3h6 can weaken the h5, e8 diagonal, as we will see in this game. So how does white continue here? I honestly met this thing in the Scotch or Scotch Gambit. So the next move is d4, because it opens the diagonal and fight for the center. And here it says natural. White takes advantage of his development advantage and seizes the initiative in the center. I didn't write it, I just read it, okay? E takes d4. Black cannot really support his central pawn with d6, because there is d takes e5, d takes e5, and queen takes d8, knight takes d8, knight takes d5. So he gains material, that's why he can't. The author considers also f6, that is even worse, honestly. Also, if maybe I don't know why, but the why is obviously that he leaves a big hole in here, and probably the queen could enter and really create big havoc. So not worth it in my opinion. So e takes d4 makes sense, honestly. And here he plays c3. Again, this is the Scotch Gambit, okay? Here it says an interesting gambit found in numerous openings. No, this is called the Scotch Gambit, and there is a lot of theory behind. It's not a joke, it's really huge. Okay, after d takes c3, guess what white will play? White obviously is playing a real gambit, so what does he need to do? He needs to develop all the pieces, centralize them if they are not already centralized, and open the center, because then it will kill this guy, right? So white plays this and black plays this, which is obviously a little too much, because now he gives the big diagonal to that bishop, right? Okay, bishop takes b2, and here it says in exchange for the two sacrificed pawns, white probably already has a decisive initiative. The f8 bishop cannot develop for now, because then the g7 pawn would be hanging, and if the g8 knight tries to get out on f6, it will immediately have to return home after e4, e5. So that's the real thing, right? Okay, so after castle takes d6, d6 is the move that black found, and let's see how we can continue. If you were white, what would you play in this position? Just keep in mind that the enemy king is in the center, so what you want to do is to attack it, right? But how do you attack it if you have a pawn in front of that king, right? You need to have an open file. So what was the move played by white is e5, and after d takes e5 there is a beautiful move by white. What would you play if you were white? White played bishop takes f7. Sorry. And this is a very bad situation for black, because it says here it is no longer quite as simple as in the previous note, as the c6 knight protects the black queen. But after king takes f7, the problem is knight takes e5, right? Why? Because you cannot take, otherwise you lose the queen. And let's see how black deal with it. Black plays king e6, queen g4 check, king d6, rook d1 check, king e7, and now there is the final blow, which is a very interesting move. What would you play in this situation? In this situation, white played bishop a3 check, and here it says the black king is mated after, for example, can you see after this what is the mate? The mate is queen g6, blocking everything, giving check, and he cannot escape anywhere because all the squares are kept by white. Notice also that this was not used, so it's kind of interesting, right? Okay, so but let's see that it doesn't go on e8. Let's see what happens if it goes here, right? If it goes there, white would play check, take, and check. And this is over. Why it's over? Why it's over? Because it could go here, or it could go here, or it could even go here. So if it goes here, I think he has lost because he cannot really escape. For example, let's say that after that he goes here. You could play this, or you can play this, and the game is over, right? Yeah, so rook e4 is the best, it seems. And this was game 18. But as you can see, it was very easy to take out of preparation the opponent black and create some problems because he kept the king too much in the center, and if you notice, he didn't have these pieces out. So I hope you enjoyed this game from this book. I will show more with my journey into the Italian game. Thank you very much for watching.